What is an indulgence? An indulgence is a remission before God of the temporal punishment for sins whose guilt is forgiven, which a properly disposed member of the Christian faithful obtains under certain and clearly defined conditions through the intervention of the Church, which, as the minister of redemption, dispenses and applies authoritatively the treasury of the expiatory works of Christ and the saints. An indulgence is partial or plenary according to whether it removes either part or all of the temporal punishment due sin. The faithful can obtain partial or plenary indulgences for themselves, or they can apply them to the dead by way of suffrage. Who can gain an indulgence? In order to be capable of gaining indulgences, one must be baptized, not excommunicated, and in the state of grace, at least at the completion of the prescribed works. To gain an indulgence, one must have at least the general intention of doing so, and must carry out the enjoined works at the stated time and in due fashion, according to the sense of the grant. A plenary indulgence can be acquired only once in the course of a day. A partial indulgence can be acquired multiple times. How to gain an indulgence? To gain a plenary indulgence, in addition to excluding all attachment to sin, even venial sin, it is necessary to perform the indulgenced work and fulfill the following three conditions: sacramental confession, Eucharistic communion, and prayer for the intention of the Sovereign Pontiff. A single sacramental confession suffices for gaining several plenary indulgences, but Holy Communion must be received, and prayer for the intention of the Holy Father must be recited for the gaining of each plenary indulgence. The three conditions may be fulfilled several days before or after the performance of the prescribed work. It is, however, fitting that communion be received and the prayer for the intention of the Holy Father be said on the same day the work is performed. If the full disposition is lacking, or if the work and the three prescribed conditions are not fulfilled, the indulgence will only be partial. The condition of praying for the intention of the Holy Father is fully satisfied by reciting one Our Father and one Hail Mary. Nevertheless, one has the option of reciting any other prayer according to individual piety and devotion if recited for this intention. Granting of a plenary indulgence to those of the faithful who recite the Marian Rosary. A plenary indulgence is granted to the faithful who 1 degree devoutly recite the Marian Rosary in a church or oratory, or in a family, a religious community, or an association of the faithful, and in general when several of the faithful gather for some honest purpose. 2 degree devoutly join in the recitation of the Rosary while it is being recited by the Supreme Pontiff and broadcast live by radio or television. In other circumstances, the indulgence will be partial. The Rosary is a prayer formula consisting of 15 decades of Hail Marys preceded by the Our Father, during the recitation of which we piously meditate on the corresponding mysteries of our redemption. Regarding the plenary indulgence for the recitation of the Marian Rosary, the following is prescribed. 1. The recitation of a third part of the Rosary is sufficient, but the 5 decades must be recited without interruption. 2. Devout meditation on the mysteries is to be added to the vocal prayer. 3. In its public recitation, the mysteries must be announced in accord with approved local custom, but in its private recitation it is sufficient for the faithful simply to join meditation on the mysteries to the vocal prayer.